It is absolutely mind-numbing for me to watch some of the gig tubers out here in this space when they talk about the fact that they go to one spot and turn on their apps and they sit in that spot all night and they drive out to drop off orders and drive back to that spot to get orders. Today, I'm going to tell you a better way to do things when you're out there doing food delivery that's going to keep you from doing this and wasting a bunch of time and limiting the money that you can make when you're out there doing food delivery. My name is John McFall, and I want to welcome you to the McFallRI channel where I teach you how to make $25 to $30 an hour doing food delivery. I've been watching videos for a long time from gig tubers, and even lately I've seen some gig tubers that'll talk to you about the fact that they go to a particular spot in a marketplace, they grab an order from that spot and they drive it out, and then they drive back to that spot, and then they pick up their next order. I think that in the most cases, this is pretty much a waste of time unless it's a very short run, like a mile to 2 miles. But if you're driving more than that out of what they consider their hot spots, I think it's a complete waste of time to continuously drive out and drive back to that spot. So in today's video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can do it a little bit different that's going to help you earn money and keep your vehicle rolling down the road, not sitting there waiting on orders, not having to drive back to these hot spots. If you find value in today's video, I'd like to ask you to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. So the biggest problem I have with this is actually two different things that happen in this scenario. You pick one spot in your marketplace. This is where you go to get the orders that you're looking to get. The first problem that you're going to run into, especially when it's slow out there, is you're going to drive into that one area and there's not going to be orders coming in on your phone. So guess what happens if you don't see orders come onto your phone when you start working your shift? You are just literally sitting there doing absolutely nothing, twiddling your thumbs instead of getting out there and getting the money that you're looking to make. So for this reason alone, I don't recommend just sitting in one spot all the time to get the orders that you're looking to get, because there are going to be times, no matter what marketplace that you're in, that the orders aren't going to be coming in on that spot. The second problem is if you go to one spot and you grab an order and then you drive it to drop it off, and you have that one spot that you always go to, guess what happens when you're done with that delivery? You've got to turn back around and drive your car back to that spot to get the next order that you're looking to get. And guess what this causes? This causes you to literally double the miles that you are putting on your car per order, which to me is a complete waste of the gas and the maintenance that you are putting on your vehicle. And it completely wastes that time because you're having to drive back with nothing in your car. So what do I do? How do I handle this? What makes me different from these other gig tubers that are telling you to do that? One caveat before I get into it that I do want to make sure I explain is, yes, there are some marketplaces that you cannot do anything but go to the same spot. I work here in Auburn, Indiana. It's a population of about 15,000 people, and there is literally one hot spot in this marketplace that I can go to get orders. It's literally a quarter-mile strip. It's a very small town, and when I go into this marketplace, there literally is one that I can go to get orders, because that's where all the restaurants are at, because that's where the freeway is and that's where the shopping is. However, if it's a bigger marketplace, then this is kind of what I'm trying to imply my suggestions here are going to help you with. So if it is a small marketplace, obviously you're not going to be able to do what I'm talking about here. So what I'm talking about is places like Fort Wayne here, that it's a population of 265,000 people, and it's a huge city. This city is, not segmented by DoorDash and GrubHub and Uber Eats. I can go anywhere in this marketplace to get orders. So when I give you my suggestions here, this is the type of marketplace that I'm referring to. So what I've done here in Fort Wayne is I actually have gone through this marketplace a lot. Obviously, I've got, 4,000 deliveries over the last couple of years, so I've been in and out this marketplace quite a bit, and I know this marketplace like the back of my hand, literally. But when I first started, I didn't. So what can you do when you go into a new marketplace, or let's say that you're a new driver, to figure out where you should go to get the orders that you're looking for? What I did when I first started is I took each individual app. I was on DoorDash first, so this is the first one I did it with. The next one was Uber Eats that I got on, and I kind of did the same thing. And then about 4 months after I started food delivery, I was able to get on GrubHub, and I did the same thing with GrubHub that I did the first two, and here's how it works. I went into my marketplace literally for a couple weeks with each of the apps, and I just started taking orders, and I picked decent orders and picked up and delivered them. And I literally went throughout my whole marketplace, seeing what happened in that marketplace, different days of the week and different times of the day, just to kind of get a feel for what the apps did in that marketplace. And guess what happened? After I did this with DoorDash and with Uber Eats and with GrubHub, I found areas in my marketplace that I refer to as sweet spots. I've got 5 of them here in Fort Wayne, but I have these different areas in my marketplace that I know I can consistently get good orders on all 3 of the apps, DoorDash, Uber Eats, and GrubHub. So when I go into my marketplace, I know exactly where I'm going. And because I've been doing it so long now, I know which one to go to, dependent on the day of the week and the time of the day. I can tell you which sweet spot I'm actually going to start in. So what I recommend to you to do is to go into your marketplace and with each individual app and kind of see what each one of them does, and then find those little areas that all 3 of them are doing pretty well in your marketplace, and get at least, I always say, a minimum of 3 to 4 different hotspots in that marketplace, so you know where to go to get the good orders. If you break down and understand your marketplace this way, it's going to solve the 2 problems that I talked to you about at the beginning of this video. When I go down into my marketplace, I have 5 different sweet spots that I can go to. And guess what happens when I drive into my marketplace and go into that first sweet spot that I have? If I look at my phone and I see there's no orders coming in, guess what? I don't sit there and wait for the orders to come in that one particular area. I know I've got another sweet spot, a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles from where I'm sitting, and I can drive down into that sweet spot that takes me 5 minutes to get there, instead of sitting there waiting for an order to hit my phone. Might take 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour before an order might hit my phone. I can drive down into my next sweet spot and see what's happening there. And what you'll find over time is when you do this, you're not sitting there just wasting time waiting for orders to come in. So if you have multiple sweet spots and you find those areas, if one's not hitting, you can go to the next one and start seeing how that one's doing. The second thing that this is going to help you prevent from doing is driving out to drop off an order and driving back to that sweet spot. If you have multiple sweet spots in your area, the great thing about this is you can grab an order from this sweet spot, and let's say it's delivering over here. Well, you have another sweet spot that's right here that's closer than the one that you started from. So this is going to allow you to get orders right away and to keep your vehicle moving down the road without sitting and waiting for orders or having to drive back to that one spot that you are going to be working all night. And it allows you to make a lot more money. I am constantly going down the road with food in my car because I know where to go to get orders. And when I pick an order, I pick one that's going from either, this spot and it's going to be in this area, or it's this spot and it's going to this sweet spot, and then it might pick up here in this sweet spot and go to this sweet spot. But my point is instead of sitting waiting for orders in one spot, I have multiple spots so I can keep my vehicle going down the road. And I'll tell you, when I first started doing food delivery, I was sitting there waiting on orders to hit my phone for about 60% of the time. After I've really, done and incorporated this strategy strategy into my work, I actually typically sit somewhere between 90 to 95% uptime. So what this means is I'm making more money because obviously I'm doing more work. So I hope you got a lot out of today's video, and I hope that you take this lesson in that you don't have to just sit in one area to make your money when you're out there doing food delivery. It's actually a bad thing to do, in my opinion, because there's times where that one spot that you pick isn't going to be producing. And while you're sitting in that one area, somebody else is going around your marketplace getting the orders from the other good sweet spots that are going to be making more money than you are. So really take into consideration your marketplace and how the apps work in your marketplace so that you know where to go so you're not sitting there wasting any of your time. I would also like to ask you to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. Finally, I want to talk about my metric spreadsheet. If you want to get better out there at doing food delivery, it starts by keeping track of your numbers. I'm going to throw my spreadsheet up here on the screen real quick so you guys can check it out. If you look at the left-hand side, you'll see I always put my start time and my end time. This gives me the total time that I've worked. I also put in the miles. Head to the right and you'll see it calculates out what your average dollar per hour, dollar per mile, and your average per order. Head to the bottom and you'll see it calculates out what your average dollar per hour, dollar per mile, and your average per order. To get better at doing food delivery, start keeping track of these numbers and see where you need to improve, and it'll help you put more money in your pocket. If you want to learn some more cool strategies about doing food delivery, I'd also like to recommend that you check out my food delivery playlist here that's chock full of lessons that are going to teach you what you need to know to get that $25 to $30 an hour. I want to leave you with, I hope that you are out there getting the money that you and your family deserve. And with that, I want to say thanks.